Hello YouTube, Dave here again. Just want to make a quick video to touch on the announcement by Wizards of the Coast that we now know what the next book is going to be that's released for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. It's going to be called Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. And it's a supplement book. It's actually not going to be another adventure, which I'll touch on a little bit here as well. And the basic idea, I guess, behind it is it's all about Mordenkainen's observations on the conflicts that have taken place over the cosmos. In addition to his musings, or his observations, it's also going to include new types of monsters, like demons and devils, I think is what it mentions specifically, as well as new player character races, and variant types of elves and Durgar, I think was the other race that was listed specifically. So the book releases on May 29th, and you can find it on the Wizards of the Coast website. It's just, I think, wizards.com/D&D, or however they have it set up, but it's easy enough to find. It's on their product listings. It's the very first thing that you see, so when you get to the RPG products. So anyway, I'm kind of curious to see what this is going to be like. So Mordenkainen is one of the most famous characters from the Greyhawk setting. So he's one of the the powerful wizards from there. He had his own adventure, Mordenkainen's Fantastic Adventure, I think it was called, or something like that. It was kind of a weird name, if I recall correctly, but Dungeon Magazine actually updated that adventure back for 3.5, and it was just called More Castle, M-A-U-R-E, and they had some extra levels of it added in future issues, which was really cool. But anyway, so what am I thinking is going to be in this? Because it doesn't really give a lot of information other than, the demons and devils that it's going to add, and the player character races. So I'm thinking this is going to be a supplement similar to what we had with Sword Coast Adventures Guide, in that it's going to contain, hopefully, my hopes, is that it's going to contain some setting information, hopefully, if for nothing else, for the world of Greyhawk, that, similar to how Sword Coast Adventures Guide had some campaign information for the Sword Coast. So even if it's just brief, generalized information, it'd be nice to have something like, have a map of Greyhawk that hopefully is a poster map that you can pull out of the back of the book. Wizards, please. That has that, and you can make it double-sided. It does talk about the conflicts and the wars, going on in the cosmos. And to me, the fact that it says that wording and then has new types of demons and devils, I'm thinking that the Blood War is going to be something that's going to be discussed. It could be setting up for the next major campaign. Maybe the next one deals with the Blood War, which for the uninitiated, the Blood War was the millennia-long conflict between the demons and devils. It was also a major driving force, if I recall correctly, behind the Planescape setting. It was something that was heavily involved. It was heavily involved in the Planescape setting as well. So if you make a double-sided poster map, you could have Greyhawk on one side, please, Greyhawk, poster map, and on the other side you can have the City of Sigil, which I think is how you pronounce it. That's how I pronounce it anyway. And I think I've heard it pronounced Sigil as well. I think Sigil sounds cooler, but again, it's a fantasy name, it's not a real place, so I'm going to say it how I want. And just people are going to have to deal with that, I'm sorry. So it'd be kind of cool to see that. I'm hoping that it has that setting information. As far as the new monsters, new monsters are always great. New player character races or sub-races, it's going to be interesting. I'm hoping they don't go overboard with it. It's like, I love elves, they're my favorite race. But I'm okay with the ones that we already have. I don't really need more elf races to play. And unless it has, maybe it might discuss Dragonlance, because Dragonlance did have, the Sylvanesti and the Qualinesti. Anyway, there were different types of elf races in Dragonlance, so maybe if it discusses several of the campaign settings in brief detail, which would be okay, but I'd rather focus on one so you can kind of get more information on that one. But if it has those ones, that might be fine, as long as there's no Kender, because I don't think anyone needs Kender. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Now, my main, I don't want to say concern, but the thing that kind of interests me the most is it's another supplement book, and the last book that we had released was a supplement book. And this breaks the pattern that a lot of us, I think, have kind of come to rely on over the last 3 years, or at least, I guess, the last 2 years, which is a 2 adventures followed by a supplement in the fall. So it's kind of interesting that they're doing back-to-back supplements. I don't know how I feel about that. I think that Xanathar's Guide to Everything had lots of great options and stuff in it. And honestly, there was so much new information in that book that I think it needs time to breathe. And I think introducing another supplement on top of that, you know, even though it's going to be like 6 months after the fact, still, I just feel like maybe the pattern that they had, for me, was a winning one. You know, you got an adventure in, you know, the beginning of the year, you got an adventure starting in the fall, and then you've got the supplement book at the end of the year. The only thing I can think of, again, is that they might be using the supplement to set up the next major storyline. But as far as I know, I read an article online, and it seems like the next major storyline is going to be that November release. So there's going to be plenty of time between now and then. It's interesting that they didn't at least maybe have the lighter adventure take place first, and then the supplement in the fall, followed by the major story. So anyway, it's interesting to me. I'm looking forward to it. The book is going to have a hobby shop exclusive cover. And, you know, the reception for that seems kind of mixed, like with all the other ones. I still think that Volo's Guide to Monsters probably had the best hobby store exclusive cover. This one looks okay. You know, the use of color on it's nice, but the font, I guess, a lot of people kind of think is weird and wonky looking. And I'll be honest, I like a little bit of uniformity in my collection. So as you can see, you know, just looking at like the spines of all my books, they look the same. And I don't think the hobby store exclusive have like the red Dungeons & Dragons logo on it. So I'm probably going to stay away from that. Haven't fully decided. I think I'll talk to my local GameStop. Not GameStop, Game Store. We don't even have GameStop in Nova Scotia. Anyway, we have EB Games, so that's blah. So anyway, I'm sort of on the fence about that one, but we'll see. No promises, but we'll see how that one goes. I actually like the regular cover. I think, again, still just a little bit more with, you know, Mordenkainen standing behind this apparatus. The hobby store exclusive one has like Mordenkainen in the background, kind of doing, you know, like this almost like pose you would expect to see in a superhero movie, where he's kind of off to the side like that, and there's like a bunch of like different creatures and stuff kind of in front of him that are silhouetted somewhat. I don't know. We'll see. So the last thing that I want to talk about, so again, that comes out May 29th, I believe is the date. You can find it on the Wizards of the Coast website. So with that out of the way, I want to talk about a little bit of speculation on what the next major story is going to be. So there was an article that I found online. I'm going to see if I can find it and hopefully put the description in the title below, or the link in the description below, not the title, but in the description. And it had said, you know, they were trying to extrapolate what the adventures were going to be based off of the code names. And the major storyline that it seems like it's setting up for, the one that's, I guess at this point, going to release in November unless they switch things around, was called Catacomb. And the theory behind it is that Catacomb is going to be an Undermountain themed campaign, which could be interesting. I'm gonna be honest, it could be something that's kind of, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing Undermountain, you know, this big mega dungeon. I think it'd be kind of cool to see something along those lines. And you can set an entire campaign in Undermountain. It's just like that massive and that sprawling, and would have made better use of the Yawning Portal for sure. But anyway, so that's kind of the speculation there. As far as I know, that one, whatever Catacomb ends up being, is going to have a set of dice as well. So along with the Tomb of Annihilation dice, which I have here, it looks like they're going to be doing special dice for their major stories every year. So hopefully, whatever the Catacomb set of dice is, if they do stick with it, because right now it's something that's projected to be released, hopefully it is better, the dice are better than what, you know, we had in here. So yeah, so I guess that's sort of the news. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. What do you think is going to be the sort of the flavor text or the fluff in the book? What, you know, sort of setting information do you think is going to be in there? Do you think there's going to be setting information in there, or do you think it's going to be something else? Do you think it's going to revolve around just the Blood War? Do you think the Blood War might be the next major storyline and Catacomb has nothing to do with Undermountain, or do you think it might be an Undermountain one? Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Thank you guys very much for watching. We'll see you next time.